Hello, Neusa. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am thrilled. So I got your book.
Lovely. Mine too. There you go.
I haven't started it yet, and that's
Yep.
why I wanted to get you on the live. I think in lockdown at the moment, clearly we're going to be going through some things, but what happened to you was I saw your live video that you were doing, and you were talking about anxiety and how you've overcome it and how you dealt with all different things around mental health. And you were so particular in the way that you spoke about your challenges. And I thought it would be absolutely wonderful and definitely something that people would love to hear. So would you mind starting from the beginning? Tell us about your journey of self-discovery.
Right. Gosh. Okay. So that was probably about 7 years ago. I was a personal trainer helping women to transform their bodies, and my business at the time was called 5 Star Physique. So I was all about the outer appearance, and I was able to transform people's bodies, women's bodies, within 90 days. So that's how I was. My journey began with me falling in love with fitness, me becoming self-employed, because before that I used to work in a 9 to 5, and I just let it all go and decided to be a personal trainer. So when I'm there and I'm a personal trainer, I'm helping other people. I'm also inspiring myself because I went through the whole self-development, mindset. And when I was open to mindset, one of the first people I listened to was Wayne Dyer, the great Wayne Dyer. And the quote that he said is, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. So I'm investing in mindset, but then my body's changing. I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I need to look better. I feel better within, but now I need to look better. So I decided to start my journey as a fitness model. So I started to train to compete. So training was no longer about fun. It was more about how can I now have bigger muscles? How can I now look great? Everyone's saying how good I look. So it was more about the ego. So I started training, and within about, I would say, 6 weeks into training and dieting as well, which I've never dieted before, I started to experience like stomach things around my stomach, sort of butterflies as people would describe it. And I didn't know what it was. I'd never dealt with depression before. I did, however, have one client that started talking to me about what she was going through. She was severely overweight, and I started to kind of absorb. It's almost like I started to absorb her energy, but I couldn't relate to her because I'd never been through depression. And where I was all focusing on trying to get her to exercise and to do all of these things, she would do everything I'll tell her to do, but at home, her eating was terrible. So again, this is the only kind of idea I had of depression. You know, she overeats and she binge eats and all of these stuff, but I couldn't really advise her from someone who'd been through it myself, because I hadn't been. So again, I started to experience these emotions in my stomach, and I went to the doctor. Within probably about 3 minutes, or however you call it, the doctor said, I told him, I'm not sleeping, because that was my first symptoms. I couldn't sleep properly. I feel like these things in my stomach. I don't feel myself. And straight away, the doctor gave me a pill. And one of my second poems is about the diagnosis he gave me. And now that transformed my mindset into believing I was depressed. So it was the first thing that he said after me saying, I'm not feeling great, blah, 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 you're depressed. So it's almost like he planted this seed in my brain now. Okay, that's the solution. I'm depressed. But I didn't want to accept it, because I was like, how can I be depressed? I'm training 6 days a week. I'm teaching 10 fitness classes. I've got 10 clients. Financially, I've got all the money I'm getting, because all my clients want 3 months packages, so they always paid in advance. Financially, there was no issues. Family, very supportive. It was just me and my daughter, so I had no relationship issues. So how can I be depressed? So when I took this pill home, a friend of mine who'd been through it said, Nelson, you have to take it. That's the only way you're going to feel better, because I took it. And I remember taking the one pill and thinking, this is going to help me sleep. When the pill didn't make me sleep, I was like, hold on a second. How is this one little thing going to help me? And fast forward, I stayed stuck in depression for 4.5 years.
How many years?
4.5 years.
Okay.
So I started off with the anxiety. So no one ever diagnosed me with anxiety. It started off with anxiety. It led to the insomnia was the second thing that happened. Negative thoughts. And when I used to step into the gym, I was no longer that confident, fit person. I may have looked it, but inside I was terrible. I was torn apart because I was like, why is all of this happening? And because even though I'm a coach now, I've always been the kind of person that can always solve a problem. But this situation I couldn't solve. I could not solve. I could not get to the root of it. And because the diagnosis was depression, I thought, okay, the internet will help me. Then I became obsessed with trying to find a solution in the internet. And during this time, I'm already dieting. So I'm being introduced
to the pills as well.
Sorry?
During this time, are you still taking the pills?
No, I just took it that one time. I didn't take it again. So literally when I took it, my mind was like, how is this one little pill? Because I think deeper into things. At that time, I was thinking deep into everything. How is that one little pill going to help me feel better? And I didn't take it again. So I continued with my diet. I continued trying to push myself to train, but I was exhausted. And it was like the kind of mental exhaustion that is not just because you've not had much sleep. It was the kind of exhaustion where it's like you're dragging yourself out of bed every single day. Like you just don't, there's nothing to look forward to. And I started to feel that even when I was still trying to train my clients, that there was no excitement, there was no energy, you know, that positive energy, I had none. So my clients started to notice it. And I thought to myself, I'm not good enough at this. I can't train my clients. And then I started comparing myself to other personal trainers who were there. Then I started to copy them and not actually be myself. And probably within about maybe 2 months, 3 months, I had to give up being a personal trainer because I just could not cope with getting up and pretending that I'm okay. I need to then go back home and feel just as bad. And then I was given cognitive behavioral therapy to understand what was going on. Still couldn't get it. It was every kind of exercise that they gave me. In the back of my mind, because I diagnosed myself, I was thinking, no, what they're saying is not right. I've probably got this, and I've probably got the first thing I probably thought I had was adrenal fatigue. I thought I must have adrenal fatigue. Every time someone gave me a solution, in the back of my mind, I researched on the internet so I knew better. This is what I've got. So it just became, I went more and more into a spiral to the point where I remember having one of my CBT therapists having to take me shopping, food shopping, because I could not pick up food. I was anxious to pick up food that did not meet within my diet, that did not say, in adrenal fatigue, it says you can't have gluten. I can't have gluten. In adrenal fatigue, it says you can't have dairy. So I was like anxious to go shopping because I wouldn't know what to buy. And it's probably the first time I'm mentioning this in any lives I've ever had, any interviews, that it was deep to the point where I could not go food shopping by myself or with somebody.
And that was was that the anxiety?
Right?
Was that the
anxiety? Yeah, I had anxiety around foods. I had anxiety about putting on weight. I had anxiety about being around in the gym, seeing other people training. I didn't have the energy or the love for it anymore. So the anxiety was all around how I saw myself and how I have to stick to these things to feel better. So I've never been in, I've never dealt with anyone like that. And I remember speaking to that particular client who was overweight, and she was saying that she feels anxious as well every time she puts on weight or every time somebody talks about her weight. And, she was bullied back in the day. And then I started to really realize later on when I dug deeper into what I was going through, that it was whatever somebody said to her and the bullying that she went through, that meant she now holds on to this weight that she's carrying. It's not because she doesn't know what's right.
Right.
It's emotional weight. It's emotional weight. She was carrying emotional weight. And until she was able to deal with the emotion, funny enough, 7 years later, she's losing all the weight now. And I see it because she's on my Facebook and I'm always commenting her on it. But you can see that now she's dealing with her emotions. So the weight is dropping.
Yeah, that makes sense though, because like I'm a big fan of Louise Hay, and she's she says the weight comes from, it's not, she never deals with the weight, she deals with the emotion and what they're going through, because when you put weight on, it's as a layer of comfort, it's to protect you. So that's just deep, that you actually met somebody and saw how that changed them. So tell me about body image. And
so body image and body perfection, it's definitely a movement. Like there's a movement of body perfection, of positive body and all of this. Body image is how you see yourself. I was trying to diet and binge eating, so I developed a binge eating disorder. So what I saw in the mirror was not what everybody else saw. My body image was different. I would look at myself in the mirror and I'd see someone who's fat, who's ugly, who's not sleeping. The first thing I focused on was my eyes. I couldn't look in my eyes because I saw so much sadness and so much fear. But my friends and my family would all be like, Neusa, you look amazing, you look great. And I'm like, but I don't feel great. How can you say that? And I would not believe what they're saying. I believe what I saw in a mirror every day.
Paranoid then?
Did I?
This is like body dysmorphia. So did it make you paranoid?
Right. So in my book, it's about my journey with regards to body dysmorphia. I had no idea. All of these things that are happening to me during the 4.5 years, I discovered and I came across and I didn't know them. And it's not until later when I started to heal that I realized, oh my God, I really had body dysmorphia. And I'm so happy that you mentioned Louise Hay, because as I said, I was trying to find all the solutions at home. So I came across Louise Hay and I bought her book, The Mirror Work, to do the mirror work. But I would try to do it and then I wouldn't do it because I had this thing where I wanted to be fixed tomorrow. I wanted to wake up and be okay and that my life will all miraculously go back to how it used to be. I wasn't accepting where I was, and I wasn't accepting that there was not going to be no magic pill. But what I did accept was that a pill wasn't going to fix me. So over years, I still had doctors trying to refer me different pills. And there was this one particular doctor that tried to give me a pill who I know someone personally takes it. And that person has gone from a size 10 now to a size 24 or whatever it is. She's huge because the pill makes you hungry. It stops your metabolism and increases your hunger signals. So you have no control over what you eat.
Why would the pill do that?
But it helps you to sleep. This is the thing. I went to see the doctor and he prescribed it to me. But because I already know the pills before you give it to me, because I've done the research, I was like, hold on, doctor. That's the same pill my friend has. Yes, but it will help you sleep. I said, but I have issues with my body. I don't want to put on weight. I struggle with that. I'm too tired to go to the gym. I've stopped working out. If you're going to give me a pill that's going to make me feel worse about myself, I don't want it. And the doctor said to me, you have two options. Either you want to sleep or you put on weight. And I said to the doctor, I'd rather not sleep and not put on the weight. So I didn't. He gave it to me. I would keep pills at home. I would go home and I'd look up all the negatives and all the positives. And most of the time, there was always so many horrible things about it that made me anxious. So I'd throw it away. But the thing...
Can I just say, now, so that takes a lot of strength and confidence to be able to do that, because we have grown up in a world where when you go to a doctor, your doctors are more superior, they know more than you. Obviously, we have the internet now, so we all Google and think we're all little doctors. But to have the confidence to go and see a doctor, a professional doctor, who tells you that this is what we're prescribing, and you then go, let me check it out. That means you already had, is that through your coaching, your personal training, excuse me, that you had reservations that this actually, not one pill works for everyone?
Right. For me, it was this. I'm a doer. And I felt like, and I remember speaking to one of my close friends that had to take it due to postnatal depression. And she said to me, even though you take the pill, you still have to get up and do things. So it's not like the pill magically makes you feel better. It just lifts up your moods. And I was like, well, if I still have to do the work, then what's the point on taking a pill? What's this pill going to make me? And during those 4.5 years, I did take them. I took it once for one day. I took it once for another week, and I took it once for 2 weeks. But because they weren't solving my major issue, which was sleeping, none of them was making me sleep. If anything, they were increasing my already anxious thoughts. They were making me more depressed. They were numbing me. I remember my mom said one time that I went to her and I just started taking it for a week. And I was sitting in front of the TV and I was zoned out. Like, I wouldn't move. My mom was like, you're so slow. Even a friend noticed my actions, and I felt powerless when I took the pill. So for me, it was like, if I've got to feel like this, and I already feel like that, I'd rather feel like I do naturally without something controlling me, if that makes sense. Now that I'm talking to you, it's funny because I don't like being controlled. I don't like being told what to do. So I thought by taking a pill, it was almost like something else is taking their power off of me. I'm relying on something, on a physical substance, and my poem says it so well, on a physical substance, a white sugar-coated pill that is going to make my life better. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't. And I remember the last time I took a pill, and I decided to do it for a month. And I only used to take these because my mum was desperate. She was like, you need to do something. You can't just sit at home. At the time, my daughter was 11, 12 years old. You can't just sit at home and do nothing. You have to do something. She was so desperate. And my friend saying to me, you have to give it time. You have to give it 4 to 6 weeks. And because I never gave it a time, I thought, okay, let me really try it. And I tried it. And again, anyone that's listening to this, I'm not saying to stop. Stopping your medication is the wrong thing to do. You can't just stop. You've got to seek your doctor's advice, and gradually came off. And I remember being on it for a whole month and then saying to myself, this isn't working. I'm going to wean myself off. So when you wean yourself off, you have to go down to 1 pill every other day or half a pill. You have to do it gradually, according to how the doctor tells you. But I didn't tell my doctors I was weaning off. I just decided to wean myself off. And I remember walking down the street and having brain zaps. Like, I could literally feel like somebody's electrifying me. And I just go like this. And this went on for probably about a week. And it was a frightening feeling because it was almost like I'm walking a zap. I'm walking a zap. For me, that for me was the pill coming off of me. That was the symptoms of me coming off the pill. And a lot of people that suddenly stop taking medication, most of the time end up in a mental home, end up being sectioned, because it's a chemical thing that's going in your brain. And as soon as you stop, all the issues that you have come back 10 times worse. And the good example about this is the person that I know that takes it, when I'm around this person, her paranoia and how she sees herself is exactly the way I saw myself when I wasn't taking it. So the pill helps her to sleep. It balances her emotions. It stops her from being sectioned. She lives a normal life. She goes to work, but her level of self-esteem is so low, and she constantly needs reassurance that she looks good, or she's constantly saying, oh, I know I shouldn't eat this, and I know I look big, but I'm working on it. I'm going to go on a diet tomorrow. It's almost like, especially when she's around me, it's almost like I bring out that fear in her, that kind of lack out of her. And I never stand in front of her and go, do this, do this, do this, because you have to be gentle with people who are going through depression, anxiety. So I would just show her what I'm doing and kind of invite her to some of my events, because I do retreats. I'll do a retreat with this called I Love Myself First.
I love that.
So I do them quarterly.
Earrings like that.
Yeah. So I called my retreats I Love Myself First. So I invite women to come together in a circle, and I coach them. We shop. We've got other women at our vendors. They shop for natural products. This is where I got my earrings from, Lorna. And we literally give them a safe space to open up. And I will talk about what I've been through. But the idea is that by the time they come out of the retreat, and a day retreat, is that you focus on me time. You've given that time to yourself, and now you feel uplifted, and you've come out with some things you can now start doing. Like one of the retreats we did was about letting go. So we did an exercise on how can you let go of the past? What can you let go of what you're holding on to. And we do an exercise with that. And don't give them nothing else, just that. So they can go home and practice this letting go.
That sounds wonderful. How can people sign up to that retreat then?
Well, once lockdown is over, once lockdown is over, I do promote it on Facebook. The last one we had was when I did my book launch. So we did the retreat in the daytime. And I have like maybe 20 to 30 women. I tried to make sure it's not like a massive thing, just very intimate. We had that. We had, a lady doing color therapy, meditation. I did my talk. We shopped. We had, healthy foods, and it was amazing. And after that, it turned into the book launch where I had my family and my friends coming in, and men were allowed to come in and stuff. And then it turned into the book launch. So usually they're quarterly. So hopefully once lockdown is over, we'll maybe having one in the summer. We shall see.
Now let's move on to your book. So The Soul of a Woman, A Journey to Self-Love. Can you, before we go, share with us one chapter or one poem or one thing that if anyone's thinking, do you know what, let me find out more about Neusa. Let me see if I want to get this book. Something that will give us a little taste of what it is that you do. That would be awesome.
Great. So this book, A Journey to Self-Love, is basically how we face challenges in our lives, and how, especially now, we've got a challenge going on in our lives. How can you redefine yourself with what you can control? I.e., I was in my own space. We are all in our own spaces in our own homes right now, right? What can you do so that when you step out, you come out a better version of yourself? So it's done through poetry to engage you, because, when we're going through the depression, we don't have time to read a whole book. So it's got a few poems you could just pick up, read a book, and read a poem. And a poem connects with what you're currently feeling right now. Then it's got a reflection of what I went through, and then it's got a simple exercise. I've got the mirror exercise in there. I've got letters to yourself in there. I've got so much. And once you've gone through this book, you will start to realize what areas in your life need a focus. So right now is the time to go in. So I'm going to read my favorite poem is about your inner diva. I've got loads of poems I love, but I do particularly like this one, especially if we've got quite a few women listening. Let me see if I can find it. I did bring it up.
120. Oh, yeah.
So page. I should learn to use my things a bit more, my contents pages. It's a page 128, and the quote is beautiful, because the quote says, "The queen in you is rising. Beautiful, it's time to pick up your crown." So it's basically showing women how you can pick up your own crown and own your inner diva. So I'm going to read the poem real quick. And
these are all poems that you've written yourself.
Sorry? I've written every single one of them. I wrote every single one of them as part of a journal. So when I started to get better, after 4.5 years, I said, right, I've got to take charge of my life. And I started to do these steps. So it's done in 5 different steps. I used to journal how I felt, and then slowly it started becoming poetry. And I didn't know I had poetry in me. And eventually I wrote all my poems. So by the time I decided to launch my book, I already had the poems. I may have written a few more later. And when I went into Just Write It workshop with my publisher, I only had 200 words. And within a month, I turned it into 29,000 words by adding the reflections, by adding exercises, and maybe adding a couple more poems. It turned into this.
Beautiful.
So
I can't wait to read it. I just can't wait.
So you just go through the step. And even, for example, like I'm going through something right now, I pick up the chapter. So it's like a journey of acceptance, a journey of letting go, a journey of forgiveness, a journey of embracing, and then a journey of self-love. So right now I'm going through something. I'll pick up, okay, a journey of forgiveness. I'll read the chapter, I'll read the poems, and I'll do that exercise. So it can help you at any stage that you are presently. So once I advise everyone to read the whole book and then go back to it and go, okay, if I need to start a journey to acceptance, let me do the exercise week by week or day by day, or right now I'm going through a journey of self-love. How do I do that? Or I'm going through a journey of embracing. Okay, let me do the mirror work. So literally you will know once you've read this book, okay, what do I need help with? And it heals you. It really does.
I'm looking through the contents page now, and overwhelmed by there's so many great catchy titles. I like the one We Rise, The Gifted, Ready to Shine, Own Your Inner Diva. That's the one you're going to read. I Am That I Am. Oh, that sounds good.
Yeah. That was from Wayne Dyer. That was taken from one of his quotes. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I started to change the way I looked at things. I started to look. When I looked in a mirror, I stopped looking at myself as someone who was tired, who was exhausted. I thought to myself, hold on, I've survived 4.5 years and I'm still here. I had suicidal thoughts, but I'm still here. So I started looking at myself as strong and looking at myself as someone that doesn't give up and looking at myself as someone who, you know what, I've actually got quite a lot of strength, but mentally I need to do more work and emotionally I need to do more work. So it's looking at myself differently, not what I look like, but what are my greatest strengths. And I started to work on them. So
I love it. Let's read that poem.
Right,
thank you. Come on, I want to hear it from your voice.
Tiredness brings back darkness in light, brings sadness in happiness, keeping me frozen in a web of lies and imperfection. Why is the world full of condemnation born from suppression causing depression? Why do others' perception of you become their own isolation, causing anger, bitterness, hate, and even confusion? We're born from love, yet we learn to hate. We're born for greatness, yet we play small, because we fear the unknown, destroy those who uplift us, those who are rising, yet suffering. So you want to make them feel guilty for growing, developing, elevating, and encouraging you. Look within what you lack, failing to see that the mirror of you has your back. They see your worth, your true potential. They'll go hard on you because they know behind their pain lies a true diamond who is made of love and passion. Their words will hurt to bring out the pain, guiding you to dance in the rain, unleashing a goddess that you're afraid to see. Stop running. Stop the pretense. Stop acting like you got it all. Be true to who you are. The bigger the rise, the harder the fall. Own up to your own inner diva. It's time to look in the mirror. Naked and strong, get back your strength. Take one step forward into the place that you belong.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So,
So yeah.
No matter where you are in your timeline or whatever's happening to you at that time, those words will with you to something that connects to you. Beautiful.
Thank you.
The rest of it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So it's available on Amazon. People can buy it directly from Amazon for £11.11, the transformation numbers. And yeah, so I just advise anyone to right now to just look within and work on yourselves. A friend of mine said to me, work harder on yourself than you do at any job, and that's where it starts.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I got this on Amazon and it came so quickly. Amazon, type in Soul of a Woman, A Journey to Self-Love, and then order that and it will come to you. And you can just, and there's something, I love a book. I love books. And I love being able to have something that you can just hold and take with you to the garden. I might even just do like that. Flip, boom.
Yeah.
It lands on self-love. So
there you go.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being on today. Anyone watching, check out Neusa. Try and see what she's offering, because this is somebody who's been through it all. She's been through so much and managed to pull herself up and keep going, and then tell us about how she got through it. So if you're somebody suffering with depression, anxiety, body dysmorphia, eating disorder, anything that is eating away at your soul, and she will help you and she will guide you, and she's been there and she can show you how to see the light, search for the light. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Ife. Bye.